today we have a terrific speaker who will be joining us momentarily. But before we turn it over to the speaker, I would actually love to introduce our coffee sponsor, Maya Mendes from the Tea Center.
Since I'm also the coffee sponsor, I'm from the Tea Center, it brings some tea. So the Tea Center provides transformational education adventure center. We provide before school, after school, and summer camp and preschool here in LaPlante. We do open house every day from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So if somebody wants to come and check us out, we are welcome to attend our open house. What's unique about our program is we are building the leaders of tomorrow by incorporating daily yoga, mindfulness, languages, Chinese, Spanish, French, STEM, lots of activities involved in the Tea Center. So thank you. Enjoy the coffee and tea and the goodies.
And now that we've introduced our coffee sponsor, if our volunteer organizers could step up if you recognize them. It takes a lot of hard work behind the scenes to make this look easy. And we have a great team of people who help us with that. So we'll do introductions once we get everybody up here.
It takes a village.
Something like that, exactly. So, Krista.
Krista Delacus, Breakaway Fitness.
Hi, I'm John Yu with Office Evolution.
Dave Morrell, 4 Steps Ahead Business Consultant.
Hi, I'm often confused as Dave Morrell, but my name is Tony Barnett. I'm with Redford Traffic Safety.
Maya Mendes, the Tea Center.
I am never confused with Dave Morrell. Jen Dalton with Brand Mirror.
This is the second week in a row this has happened. I'm sensing a trend. I'm not sure how. So, thank you very much to our volunteer coordinators. I'd now also like to start with introductions for the group. So, if we could go around the room, state your name and your organization or occupation. Let's actually start over here for a change.
Oh,
Hi.
hello. I'm Megan Yu, Office Evolution.
Welcome.
Alan Anderson, I provide part-time sales assistance for small businesses and startups.
I'm Lori Wiggins, CEO of Byond, and you'll hear plenty from me in a minute.
Maya Mendes, the CEO of the Tea Center.
Alan French, Sandbox Financial Partners.
Konstantin, co-founder of Regatech web and mobile applications.
Hiroshin from Korea Business Development Center.
I think I'm going to actually go back and let.
Yeah, I'm Changi Park. Same group with Peter Ship.
John Cantor, I run a fractional CFO service consulting business.
Jen Dalton, Brand Mirror. I do personal branding for entrepreneurs and executives.
Cami Ashley, Experis IT. We provide IT staffing solutions for companies large and small.
Tony Barnett, Director of Traffic Safety. We use artificial intelligence to make the roads safer.
I'm Hector Del Castillo, and I'm with Byond as well.
I'm Greg Kinney with First Descent. I do knowledge management. It's my first time here, and a variety of software development type of projects.
My name is Ken Portnoy. I'm representing my local Toastmasters club. Toastmasters is the most cost-effective public speaking and leadership training program in the known universe.
Dan Linder with Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge.
Lisa Humes with Health Markets, helping you with your employee benefit options.
I'm Barry Fake with Executive Advisors. We put together effective teams for complex projects.
Ann Rosenblum, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority. We are the marketing arm of Fairfax County.
Karen Schmall, Fairfax County Economic Development Authority.
Krista.
Krista Delacus, Breakaway Fitness. We are a private gym here in Tyson.
Paula Malone with One Voice Communications, commercial internet provider.
Michael Ward, Argent Place Law. We focus on the legal needs of entrepreneurs.
John Yu, Office Evolution. We provide co-working space and we're located right here in these buildings.
Chris Gillis, I do public affairs, strategic communications. I just heard about this yesterday, so I'm happy to check it out.
Thumb Russell.
John Rutenberg, CCCSolutions.com. We help business owners and sales professionals manage qualified leads.
Hi, Rosemary Sabina with Gravitate. We have a business messaging platform that helps you elevate your professional communication.
Marty Koev, relationship manager at Local Vest, where local investors come to see local opportunities. And that's my brother Sodi Koev. He's with Local Vest as well. And he also wears the financial hat of Military Capital.
And last but not least,
David Hilson, Deho Financial Home Brewer.
welcome everybody.
And just real quick, about half the room has not logged into the app yet.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you checking that while I was making sure that nobody got missed on this.
We have one viewer online, Donnell, from Evision Worldwide.
Excellent. Welcome, Donnell. So, now we've gotten through that. Let's see, logging into the app, parking. Hopefully everybody, if you do you have a parking pass or did you download the parking pass? Parking passes are kind of important around here. So we want to make sure that if you parked your car, you've got one available. Let's see. The overall overview for today is that we will do the presentation from the folks at Byond. We'll do Q&A and ideation, and Myosha will actually moderate the Q&A. And then we've got open networking after that. So without any further ado, I would love to welcome Roy Wiggins from Byond.
Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here this morning. I'm the CEO of Byond, and our mission in life is to help enable company growth and radically increase profitability for companies so that they can outperform their competitors.
Lori, one other thing. Lori's going to give us lots of very interesting information. There are white cards and pens in front of everybody. Take notes as you go. For comments, questions, whatever, Lori will get a copy of all of this feedback as well. And it helps you keep track of what are the things that have come up that are of interest to you. So.
And don't forget to put your name and contact information on the card.
Thank you very much.
Right, that's greatly appreciated. And I thank you for your questions and comments. So I've already introduced myself, and my Chief Product Officer is Hector Del Castillo. Hector, just wave your hand. There you go. So we're partners in crime. And the thing that we love to do is to improve life for business owners and their businesses so that they're more profitable. And there is such a huge net effect to do that. And we love to see people thrive, including and especially under adverse circumstances. So we specialize in providing an optimal combination of organic and inorganic for mergers and acquisitions growth, because that's how you achieve maximum growth for a company. For sellers, we help them maximize their value before they put themselves up for sale. M&A is a process, it's just not just a transaction. For buyers, we help them increase market share so that they can grow, and also to help them better position themselves for acquisitions. For sellers, the main thing that they worry about is leaving money on the table. Over 60% of them are concerned about that, and we help them avoid that. For buyers, they want to avoid buying hidden liabilities, and we help there too. So, we work with CEOs and entrepreneurs of digital companies across a number of industries. We work with small, 1 to 10, and lower mid-market, 10 to $100 million companies. These are underserved companies, and we'll get into that more in a minute. We work with buyers and sellers that aggressively want to grow their businesses. So we're looking at mountain climbers, those that really want to move ahead quickly. The things that distinguish us are that we provide the same level and quality of service that large consulting companies do, like McKinsey, like Bain, like Forbes, and the rest. Companies in our sectors cannot afford these large consulting firm services, but we provide the same thing at small company prices. These small and lower mid-market companies are underserved. Very often, they are approached by middle market companies that have a lot of money and keep going down market to get deals because it's a seller's market right now. There are more buyers than sellers, and very often the CEOs have either never gone through an M&A or it's been a long time since they've done it. Practice makes perfect with M&A, as with many other things. Because we are experienced in organic and inorganic growth, that makes us more unusual. We're certainly not alone in this. But because we have expertise in both areas, we definitely have a leg up on consultants that simply offer growth options for organic growth only. Between Hector and myself, we have about 60 years of experience in technology, in product development, in product marketing, and hardware and software development. Before I get into my challenge, I wanted to make two announcements. One is we are doing a webinar next Tuesday on the 9 ways that you can grow your company this year, and I would invite you to do that. If you provide your contact information on your comments to me, I'm happy to send you information to register for this event. It is a free event. Also, we are having a boot camp for strategy on March 22nd. This boot camp features strategy, which is a critical component of maximum company growth. This is a paid event, just to be upfront about that. And now, my challenge, our challenge. How to gain more clients faster. And with that, I'd like to open it up for questions and comments.
I'll get us started. Could you explain a little bit more about what your solution does and where and what time is a good time for someone to engage your services? I know you do M&A assessment, but can you talk a little bit more about what that looks like?
Sure. So, we want to help companies grow faster. And in order to sell or buy successfully, it's best if you have healthy growth. So we work with both buyers and sellers, those that are thinking about it and those that just want to grow their business faster. In any case, if you are contemplating a merger or acquisition, you want to start well ahead of time, probably 18 to 24 months ahead, particularly because most businesses have gaps, things they need to fix, things they need to address before they're really ready to go for M&A. And it takes that long in order to diagnose and then put the fixes in place because typically there are not infinite resources, time, people to do that. Yes?
Where are you currently focusing your marketing efforts?
We're focused mostly in the local DMV area right now. We market on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and we also have email marketing campaigns for our events.
And where are those email marketing campaigns targeting? Well,
We-
if you're building a list, is there a particular vertical that you're looking at, or are you just throwing out a wide net?
These are technology companies,
Okay.
digital companies, and we have targeted folks, particularly on LinkedIn, that either have been entrepreneurs before or have more than one company at a time. Those that serve on boards and have other characteristics of what we call mountain climbers.
Okay.
Yes.
Dave Morrell, Forceps Ed Business Advisory Services. Obviously, knocking out the Big Four and other large M&A companies is key. When you take a look at the other boutique houses out there that are approaching the same market, how do you differentiate beyond from those houses?
Right. A lot of the large consulting firms and the wannabe consulting firms love the middle market. And the middle market is about, say, 150 million to $1 billion in annual revenue. We love the lower middle market because it's underserved and we can provide the kinds of services that they need but cannot afford typically. And so that's how we distinguish ourselves. Makes sense? These are great questions, by the way.
Dan Linder, Golden Rule Home Watch and Concierge. What, if you had to state your 30-second or 45-second message of why would someone come to you versus not the big four, not, I'm sure you have competitors and similar size
we
around
do,
the same
yes.
market, but why would they come to you? I mean, this is almost rhetorical. Why would they come to you versus what's the value proposition? What differentiates you?
Our value proposition is providing that depth and breadth of analysis and experience to help companies, to help your company grow as fast as possible by providing this optimal combination of organic and inorganic growth. And we see you through whatever it is that you want to accomplish. We help you fulfill your objectives.
I was going to ask, with regards to your target market, I still don't get it. You say digital marketing or digital companies, because around here, everybody calls themselves a digital something. I mean, my daughter just left the company, and she was explaining their digital marketing company what they do, and it's like, well, it's just an IT staff.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what you mean by digital marketing companies or digital companies, because this is a technology area. And
Right.
that doesn't help me get a woman fuzzy, like, I know exactly what you're doing, what you're aiming for.
So.
Can you come back up here when you answer? So we can
Yes.
come back?
And I'll repeat the question.
Perfect.
So the question is, what is a digital company? How do you know when a company is a digital company, right? So digitization is the process of looking at all your business processes, whether they're customer-facing, back office, or internal processes, and automating them and using machine learning, AI, and other techniques to make them more efficient. Many companies are somewhere along the digitization path. And nearly every company needs to do this so that they remain competitive of any size. Otherwise, they're going to be out of business within 5 years. So we're very familiar with this and how to do it, and we work with those companies because they have to do it to remain competitive, and we have to help them so we remain competitive. Does that make sense?
So are you saying you're helping them develop their, their infrastructure so that they're more prepared for a transaction or for acquisition?
So the question was, are you helping them?
I will try to project more. Are you saying that you're providing them an enhanced way to upgrade their back-end infrastructure to prepare them for an M&A transaction?
So, okay, that's a great question. What we do is advise them on how to proceed along the digitization path if that's what they need. If they need help in preparing for a merger, an acquisition, or to grow more quickly, then we look at all areas of their business. We have the methodologies and the analytical tools to do that. And we advise them on what areas in their business have gaps, have problems, so that those can be addressed in order to grow faster. And that can include digitization, but it's certainly not limited to it. It is one of many things that we can help them with. Yes,
So
good question.
if I understood correctly, one of the types of clients that you serve are people who are looking to exit
Yes.
their businesses.
That's correct.
And so in how to gain more clients faster, I think that it's possible you could experiment with using that specifically, for example, as a seminar topic. How to exit your business. And marketing that seminar may draw people to that segment of your business specifically.
Great idea. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Rosemary Sabina with Gravitate. I didn't hear you mention it. I apologize if you did. Are you working with referral partners? of
We
any
have
kind?
referral partners and we want more.
Okay.
And that's a great idea because referral partners and having a strong network of that
It's okay.
is very important. And it is certainly a very important part of getting business. Thank you. And if you have some ideas about that, more
I do.
ideas about that, I would love.
I'll write them down because I think a referral, not just like accounting firms, but also the SBA as an example.
Yes.
Because that's your market.
Uh-huh.
And that's where people are going to turn for help.
Oh,
So-
great idea. Yes, thank you.
So I think David Hilson, Eagle Financial, I think part of the struggle that maybe some people are having is with classification of your company, you know, sort of business broker, M&A consultant, right? You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's, in part, I think people are having a hard time getting their head around the value proposition, what it is you do from a classification standpoint. You know, I wanted to ask who you're using for your digital marketing. I'm not a digital marketing firm, so I can ask that. You know, again, you know, as you try to push your message out, you know, that's probably you need to rely on outside marketing for that. And then the other comment I was going to make goes back to those referral sources, centers of influence, and where you spend your time. There are groups like exit planning groups that actually get
XPS.
together with, there are a couple of them with the types of professionals you're probably looking for. Again, I spend time there, but I'm not sure which people you're ready to connect with. So again, part of that goes back to this.
Thank you for bringing that up. So I'll just address us versus business brokers. What business brokers do is they're usually focused on businesses between 1 and 5 million. And they act like your realtor does. Basically, you want to sell your company? Great, they'll go find you a buyer. They're not going to try to improve your company so that you can get a higher price. They're not going to try to address any of your gaps so that that nice initial offer, high initial offer you got gets knocked down during due diligence and so forth. So usually if you have a business larger than that, then you're going to have to hire your own lawyers, accountants, and so forth, as well as a management consultant to help you find buyers, okay? So business brokers are great, but they only serve a part of the market, and they really don't help you either as a buyer or seller prepare for sale. Does that make sense? Yes. As far as the digital marketing goes, right now we're doing all of our own marketing, and as our business grows, we definitely look forward to turning that over to other people to help us with that. Right now we are getting some advice there, but we definitely need more help. Thank you.
Dave Morrell, 4 Steps Ahead. What do you and Hector feel is keeping you from your objective, getting more clients faster?
Right, so we've been doing this, we formed Byond last year, early last year. And so we're still building our business. So we're still in that high growth phase. So we're looking at any and all means to do that more quickly.
But what do you feel is preventing you? What
I
are
think
the barriers?
I think just because we're still building our brand and because we're still relatively new, we're seeing traction. We just want to see more of it faster.
Okay, so awareness.
Awareness, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Tony and Lydia.
Oh, okay. All right, so you and I know each other for a long time.
Yep.
Here it comes. You need to shift your marketing, okay?
Okay.
You can't market directly to business owners. They don't have enough time. Even if they're thinking about this, you're just noise in the background. Focus your marketing to who they listen to. Who do they listen to? Their accountants, their lawyers, and their bankers. Seriously, have 3 different campaigns focused to them about messaging to their customers. Don't bother going directly to the business owners. Business owners won't pick up on it. But if I get a call from the corporate counsel to the office and say, hey, look, I just saw this event about a boot camp for M&A.
Yes.
You need to go. Guess what they do? They go. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're throwing, I hate to use the term, you're throwing spaghetti at the wall. You just focus to the people they listen to and start messaging those people, because those people will sit there and make the connection. Ooh, Bob over here has been mentioning he wants to start planning on selling the company. The accountant is like, oh God, he's like sitting there and constantly talking about how he wants to sell or he needs to do this or that. That's where the back connections come, and that's where it's going to happen faster, because those people communicate to their clients that this is something they should take a look at.
Thank you, Tony. That's a great comment. Yes.
My thought is, listening to you, I felt like your presentation was a little vague, and I think Dave kind of intimated that. Your elevator pitch has got, I think what you left out of it is the Ford example. You really need a Ford example, because I kind of felt like I was up here, I need to focus on something specific.
Okay, would you like a for example?
All right, go ahead.
We're working with a company right now. They're a private investigation firm, and they want to sell. They've been in business for decades. They are well established in their industry, and yet they're not seeing the profitability that they really should, based on our analysis of their industry, their competition, and their company. So we are working with them to analyze their business, and we've identified places where they need to address so that they can be more efficient in their operations, so that the owners are freed up to do more billable work instead of non-billable work, and that some of the practices, some of their billing practices need help so that they can have a more profitable operation. These are the kinds of things that we do to help companies grow. In addition, helping position them for sale so that they not only increase their revenues top line, but increase their profitability bottom line, so that they use their employees more efficiently, and now they can get a higher price for their business when they go to market. That's one example.
Jen.
Go ahead.
Just a couple of thoughts. One is, you're talking, if I look at your LinkedIn or if I look at your website, it's a lot about growth and profitability, which is awesome. That is a very different message than saying, we help your company get in shape to be bought, right? And so I could read one message and think something, and I could read the other one and know exactly what you do. So I would love for you to think about, how do you have a tighter message, so that when someone comes to your LinkedIn profile or comes to your website, that's more aligned. And I think your webinars, we had an example earlier, could be a little bit tighter around the value from that perspective.
Great.
My question is, are you doing LinkedIn sponsored ads for your webinars? Because if you're not, I would recommend you do so.
Okay, great idea. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Yes.
John Rittenberg, CCC Solutions. Echoing some of Jen and Tony's comments, but adding on the message side, do you want to sell for 2x sales or 0.5 sales? Okay, that's really what you have to meet a seller 3 to 5 years before selling, so that you can put them in a position to be sold.
At least 18 to 24 months. But
Whatever.
Yeah, the
whatever.
point is, before they
So,
want to sell.
But nobody, I love to sell in 5 years for 2x sales, okay? But if you're gonna tell me about all my gaps, I'm gonna shut down, because I have my problems. I don't need to hear from you my problems in the most serious way. Do I want to sell for 2x sales? You're darn right. now if you want to help me get there over 18 months, I'm very interested. It's a completely different message.
Thank you. Yes. Good point.
So, the gentleman there made a comment, and you gave an example of a customer you're working with. I think stories and objective metrics make a great deal. Everyone, you can't argue with that. Demonstrates experience, and if you have a use case and scenario that you take end to end, and you were able to, this company was valued at X, and you were able to get them X plus or whatever. However, that catches people's attention more than, because everybody wants to increase growth, and there's a lot of companies that say they'll help you increase growth and profitability and prepare you for M&A. But if you have a real life use case that you can walk through, people like that, and that brings up credibility. So.
Great idea. Thank you.
And you talked very well when you spoke about that. You spoke very well of that use case that you're talking about, the events contractor, events person.
Thank you.
David Hillison. I wanted to follow up on that story as well, because it was sort of an interesting pain point, that you talked about in a business. It isn't necessarily, what I heard wasn't necessarily consistent with a company that's ready to buy or sell. They were looking for increased efficiencies, right? That maybe puts them in a position to buy and sell, but it sounded like the work that you did there wasn't necessarily related to a merger and acquisition. And in my head, as I was thinking about, companies that really want to accelerate, because that's what you talked about, right? Are they excited and passionate about building and growing a business? And you got to latch on to them in years 1, 2, 3, and 4 of their business. The idea of a company that's been in business for 20 years that looks for increased efficiencies, I didn't necessarily hear that. Maybe it was because they were going to sell, not necessarily because they were going to buy. But I think that idea of pain points, around when are clients really going to need you, that's what it's all about, right? Is being able to plug yourself in at the right pain points and trying to identify one of them is great, trying to identify 4 to 6, maybe even better. But I'm just sort of interested in that comment about, what you did with that client, and was it designed to help them get ready for purchase or sale?
I'm sorry if I did not mention this, but they want to sell by the end of this year.
Yeah.
So we are positioning them to achieve maximum value going into the sell.
Thanks.
Krista, Breakaway Fitness. Like John, I don't want to be told how awful all my business practices are. However, I would like to sell and make a lot of money. Do you have any examples or testimonials as well? With this company, for instance, you built up their business so well, now maybe they don't want to sell. Maybe that's another avenue that people can read on your website and say, oh wow, I really wanted to sell my business, but now I'm doing so well because they said they weren't making a good deal of money.
Yeah.
And now their practices are better, it's not as tedious every day. That might be another avenue with your testimonials, as this gentleman said. You should be pushing all of that, of things you've done over the last year.
That's a great point, because indeed we found that's true too. These people that we're currently working with are retirement age, but let's say you're not retirement age and you're thinking about getting out of the business because you're not doing that well, but we help you improve your business so much that it's so much more fun to run, you're going to stick with it. Cool, great. And I appreciate you bringing up that point. Yeah.
Yeah, so we kind of run in the same little circle, and I have a fractional consulting business as well. I use LinkedIn as my primarily kind of B2B type of connection. Mm-hmm. And this gentleman mentioned it as well. In my website, I essentially provide content, right, for tip of the funnel in terms of where people come through in that life cycle, right? Because you can set categories on, different services and all that. So as you have these type of case studies, if you get permission from the client anonymously to kind of write content about it, whether it's a blog post or however you do it, that gives you the credibility, and it also, you will be surprised at how often it connects with somebody, because if you have enough content, you find a pain point or that situation to talk about, and then you've already shown that you've solved that problem, and it's an easier way kind of to then funnel people through. It's been very beneficial.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So
Yes.
John Rittenberg, we've kind of talked about two of the three target markets. Refers to me as number one for the reasons Tony mentioned. We've talked about sellers. So I'm curious, who are the buyers of the $10+ million sort of businesses? And where I believe you can play an excellent role, since I believe you want to buy low and sell high. So if you're representing a buyer in due diligence, and you're going in and seeing the opportunities to improve net income once the business is purchased, that to me is maybe a more fertile area than sellers.
So if I understand you correctly, once the acquisition has been made, helping that integration along and making sure that the new firm is more profitable?
No, prior to the acquisition, you're hired by the buyer. So I know of venture capitalists who buy government contractors, for example, perhaps in a retirement scenario, as you just mentioned. But there are business companies that buy up, they may be focused in an industry. And around here, government contractors is a big industry.
Yes, it is.
But that's true across the country, really. But when people are nearing retirement, there are companies that apply capital and put in management to succeed existing management. Being hired by them on the due diligence, gee, this is a company, boy, if we were able to increase profitability by 30% and we're buying at 4x EBITDA, wow, look what we just did to the value post-purchase. So I want to hire you as the buyer, as the venture capitalist looking at these companies to know what I'm going to do after I buy it. Because I don't want the seller to make those improvements. I want the seller out of there. And I want to buy low. So I want the improvements made after. So again, I think that's a quicker path to gain clients than working to get a seller who doesn't want to hear about his problems, who's 18 to 24 to 36 months down the road.
Thank you.
We're almost out of time, just two more questions.
Okay,
Tony,
so this is
and
from Donnell, who's watching online. And his question is, have you looked, and it's to John's question there, have you looked to teaming with investors that buy businesses or marketing to them?
Would you tell Donnell that he's very smart and that he said it in a much shorter way?
He'll hear it. He's online. He'll hear it.
Donnell, John says you're very smart.
Good job. Yes, thank you, and we definitely need to look at that.
Just a last thought. I might recommend I am recommending that you look at family-owned businesses, and I would look at the Washington Business Journal Family Business Awards. They recently had them or are having them. Those are targets that might be thinking about selling. Maybe their family doesn't want to pass it on. Maybe they've grown so big they want to sell and exit. But I would be very specific in finding those groups like that where they're big enough that they'd be good targets, but they may not know how to do that.
Yes.
Whereas other businesses that have a CEO that maybe, not that families are not smart, but you know what I'm saying? Like they grew the business. They may not have been thinking about that. But I might even start there and reach out, maybe do a webinar specifically for family-owned businesses thinking to exit, and franchise business owners. So for business owners who started with one and have added 2 or 3 restaurants, etc., I would look at that very specific content, because I think our fractional CFO, whose name I missed, I apologize.
That's right.
Great point about content, but it needs to be very targeted for people to want to read it. It can't be generic, like 5 reasons to exit. It needs to be, these are the 5 questions every family business owner should ask before they sell, or something like that.
Great. That's a great point. Is
last
that it?
question. Yeah, that's the last question. We have one more question from Dave. What can the 1 million cups? Sorry, no question. Go ahead, Dave. Ask
What can the 1
question.
million cups community do to help Byond?
Use us or refer us. I want to thank you so much for your feedback, all your ideas and suggestions, really great ideas out there. And please put your contact information on your 3x5 cards, or I guess they're 4x6 cards. And thanks for your time today.
Thank you. John Donnell says thank you.
And so, one last thing, part of the tradition is that as a result of being kind enough to come in and share with us, we're pleased to present you with the highly coveted and hard to come by.
Woohoo!
1 million cups.
Yay!
Okay, thank you folks, some great lively discussion. So we've got a couple of things that we want to point out for you, is that for the next couple of weeks, we have a company called New Ways on the 13th, the Kimbimbi Academy presenting on the 20th. We're firming up plans for the 27th, but we have people lined up for that. Choose Your Reader on April 3rd, and then Blue Henry Spirits in the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce on the 10th. The contact information for Byond is listed here on the screen, and if you are interested in becoming a part of this elite group and presenting your business and business idea at 1 Million Cups Fairfax, we would love to have you apply at 1millioncups.com/Fairfax. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the coffee and open networking, and we appreciate you coming today.